Yes, good evening. I hope you are here for the assignments, other week 3 assignment as per se. So just as a recap from what we've been doing, week 1 was tailored on introduction to MongoDB, introduction to MongoDB and the transactions that you can do to either insert records through the CRUD operation. We're able to do a seed and a CRUD JS file that could easily interact with MongoDB. Then week 2 was focused on doing an API or doing APIs that can do the actual interaction, or they can do the transactions. For week 1 it was doing a file that can do the insertion and the CRUD. Week 2 we're doing functions that can actually take the database interaction to a higher level, the actual querying, insertion, updates, and deletion APIs. That was the the back end. Now in week 3 was focusing on doing the front end, doing the web pages that a user may interact with when dealing with an application. So in this case we were to do the client side files, do customization through the Tailwind CSS, which is actually the modeling or the way we can structure web pages to be appealing through JavaScript. Then I guess week 4 is now doing a complete application which has the database, the backend, and the front end integrated in full or as a whole. Week 5, I think it's additional libraries like the Socket.io, which works on the interaction between pages, which we have either simplex. We have either simplex, that is communication between one end to another. We have half duplex, we have full duplex, and we have the actual the WebSockets, which can do a two-way communication. By two-way communication, I mean either the server side or the front end side do communicate at the same time. that is done on socket IO, which is an equivalent of a WebSocket, but WebSocket is of what do you say, is of more of a half duplex, which waits for one end to send, then the other end replies. But for the socket IO, is both end can send and receive at the same time. That is on week 5, and that has been covered today. So now back to week 3. Week 3 is focusing on dealing or doing the client-side pages. You'll excuse me for let's say a minute. I'm coming back. Yes, I'm here now. So from the introduction, is there anybody who has been left behind in terms of connection between the work that has been done from week 1 to week 5? Anyone who wish to get more clarification on the content, so that as per now you should have connected what has been covered. Week 1 was just introduction to the database and doing transaction that can affect a database. Week 2 was dealing with the backend, writing functions that can interact with the database. Week 3 the web pages, or we can say the front end, what the user sees, clicks to actually do the actual query, the actual interaction between the front end and the database. But now for the front end, we want only to do the interface. Yeah. Then week 3 was week 3 was the front end. Sorry. Week 4 is where you are connecting the front end and the back end to interact with the database. That's why we are told to do a blog system which has both the client and the server side. Week 4, that is what I've just said. Week 5 is now what you have, can we take it to another level? The normal communication is you requesting, then you wait for a response. But now, if in a case where we want a communication that is seamless in a way that a user can communicate while receiving information, we now take it to the higher level, doing socket IO or socket web. We in another language will have done web sockets, which is an equivalent of the communication whereby one end sends, then the other receives. Yeah, like that. If somebody is to explain more on the transaction side or the transaction or the communication ways, one, we have the simplex, where you do a request, wait for the feedback. That is when you are querying through the HTTP or requesting for a web page. That is a simplex. Then we have the half duplex. Half duplex is where you can initiate a communication from your end, wait for the results without reloading any page. That is mostly done in Ajax. For those who have done JavaScript or jQuery Ajax, that is what half duplex means. Then we have the full duplex, where communication is done completely from one end, then it waits for the other one for the other end to respond. Then another one or another communication is initiated. For the full duplex is where now both ends can communicate at the same time. You are sending while receiving, and the other side is sending while receiving. That is the content you've covered today. So I hope we are in a good flow as far as the main content that has been covered throughout the weeks. Before we dive into the assignment. The assignment is now building the front end. Any question from that? Any question? Now that there are no questions, we move to the projects or the assignments. Now, when you clone the project or when you clone the assignment, this is what you get. You get a folder, the SRC folder, and a README file. The README file has content on how your web page looks like. I've really changed mine. Let me try if I can get the exact application. Yeah, what I'll just do is I'll borrow the files from the other repository. So just a minute. Okay, so it's on week 3. Need to get the assignment MD and the README file. Go to downloads. Let me replace. Clear. Just confirm if you can see. Are you able to see? Thank you. So when you clone, you get the SRC folder and the README file plus week 3 assignment and .md. So these are just description on what you are to do, what is expected of you while doing the assignment. So the assignment is focused on doing web pages with Tailwind CSS, which can actually do something like a theme switcher. You can switch from a light to a dark mode. Yeah, this is the target, the task 5. So we have it has been divided into tasks. So we get like task 1 is creating a React application using Vite, install the configurations or install and configure Tailwind CSS, set up the project structure, components, pages, utility, folders, configure basic routing using React Router. Then in task 2, we do the component architecture, of which you have to create reusable UI components, the button, the card, the navigation, the footer, then implement a layout component that includes the navigation bar and a footer. Use props to make components customizable and reusable. Task 3 is where you do state management and hooks. You have to implement the task manager component that allows users to add new tasks, make tasks as completed, or mark tasks as completed, delete tasks, filter tasks, all active and completed. Then use the following hooks. You use state for management for managing the component state. Use effects for side effects, e.g. loading and saved tasks. Use context for theme management, the light and dark mode. Create a custom hook that is use local storage for persistent or for persisting tasks. Number 5, API integration. Now fetch data from a public API or JSON loader. So we have some APIs that are readily available for you. Instead of you now doing the backend, just call the available API. Display the fetched data in a list or a grid. Implement the loading and error status or state, sorry. Add pagination and add pagination or infinite scrolling, or if infinite scrolling, then create a search filter for the API results. Task 5 is styling with Tailwind CSS. Create a responsive web design that works on mobile, tablets, and desktop. In this, we are trying to implement the Bootstrap that we are used to do, or we used to do in web development using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. We are taking it to this level, whereby we have to do a mobile responsive application using the Tailwind CSS. We implement a theme switcher for the dark mode and the light mode using Tailwind dark mode, or then use Tailwind utilities, utility classes for layout, spacing, typography, and colors. Create a custom animation and or transition for interactive elements. So this is like the way we used to do JavaScript in the other end. We're trying to model the same in this application. What is the outcome? This is what is expected of you. A fully functional React application with multiple components. So the components are the button like that, reusable components. Then a proper state management using React hooks. So you need to create a hooks folder. Within it, you do the use state. Let me see example. Do we have a project structure? Maybe in the README. Yeah, this is how you structure your pages. You have components, you have pages, you have hooks, you have context, you have APIs, you have the utils, and as the entry point you have the app.jsx. So in React you have to, or in Man, you have to understand that we're dealing with two major development points, or two major file extension, one being the JSX and the TXX. The JSX, this shows that you are dealing with JavaScript, and the TSX means you are dealing with TypeScript. So it's upon you to decide whether you want to do a JavaScript or a TypeScript application. Both of them can achieve the same result. Yeah. So if you see anything .jsx, just know that this is a JavaScript. If it is a TXSX, sorry, you know that this is a TypeScript file. Yeah, TypeScript. So in this, we know that we are dealing with JavaScript. If it were to be a TXX, we will know that we are dealing with the TypeScript. Yeah. So having done that, I wonder, there's a problem with my machine since yesterday. I'm unable to initialize any project. It really gives me a headache. I can't run any Python script or a JavaScript or a Man application. It has been a very big headache for me. So what I've just done is creating the project, but when it comes to even installing the files or installing the application, get a problem with it. So yeah, just confirm if you are able to see. Now let me try doing, yes, let me try installing, because I have really had a hard time running this application. So how do we initialize an application? We use the npm init-y. So the reason we are using -y is if you do npm init, there might be some questions will be asked to do an input. For example, where we have two options, you will be told to select one. Or if maybe you want you want to or if maybe something has to be added, you'll be asked either to allow or to accept, or to give it a yes or a no. So to avoid those questions, we use -y or recursive y. That means whenever it encounters a scenario where it requires you to do the input, it just go with the yes. Or you can do a -no to go for the no side. So in this case we do a yes. So this prepares your project, and we hope that it has done, yeah, it has done the necessary. So next is doing npm install. Npm install makes sure that it installs all your dependencies for the project. Let's hope that it installs this time round. Let's wait for it to install. Can say there's a problem. I'm really facing a very big problem when it comes to doing this initialization. But okay, let me just clear. Mine is to make sure you know and understand what is required of you. Now the moment you clone your project, you will only have you will only have the src folder. In it you'll have the app.tsx and the readme files. To get the package lock and the package JSON, you initialize it by calling the function npm init npm init-y, then doing the npm install. For your case, it should work. My machine has had some problems since yesterday, so I'm still working on it to see if I'll be able to achieve something, or be able to be back to work. So what you need to do just after initializing your project, there are some folders that have been described in your readme file. Here they are. So you have the components, the pages, the hooks, the context, the API, the utils. You create these folders in your src folder. Expand the src folder, create our directory, then create those directories in it. Mine is missing the utils, so I just need to create the utils. Can just come here, new folder, and do util like that. Yeah. So what next after doing this? You know your project is divided into sections. One, you have to understand that the entry point is the index. This is where everything starts, the index page. So if you initialize your project with Vite, you will have this index page installed for you. So the main entry point is on this. So this is where we are loading the application, and the page source is the SRC then main.jsx. So when you open your browser, it will look for the index.html. This index.html has included a resource from the main.jsx. So this main.jsx will be loaded as a resource. Here it is. The main.jsx, now this is like your root application. What does this have? Let me hide this. This application, as you can see, it has imported React. Then we are using the React DOM for client, also client. This is the creator. We're creating a variable, or we use the create root, or we import the create root from React DOM. Then we have the import app. The app here is this app.jsx. This is what we're going to use as the main application, but it has to be called through the entry point. As we said, this is the entry point. It includes the services of the JSX. This JSX is what will load your application, and here is where we're loading it. Then we are importing the index.css. This is where we have our CSS, the styles, which is mostly preferred as the Tailwind CSS. This is where we're doing the styles. So any CSS style or any customization will be done here. Just as the way we used to include styles in HTML, where we do the link, we do the relationship, something like that. This is how we include them in the main. So here we are initializing, or we are requiring the service of React, creating the React DOM, importing the application, or this is where we joining, or we call the application, and this is where we call the style. Now we create a document. So the router, the create router, calls the creates a function which renders the app. The app will be rendered. This app here will be rendered within this block. And what does the app have? The app has this content. Yeah. So this is what has been returned, but it imports this content above here. So just as in Express, we have to make sure we import React here. Then we import the base router. The base router as the router, the routes, and the route from React DOM. This deals with the navigation. Then we have the theme provider. Theme provider, if you go back to our README, we've been required to do an application that can achieve the theme switching. You switch from one theme to another. Looking for that exact place. Task, yeah, the theme switching. So the theme switching is here under the context, then theme switch. No, the better way, or the most advantageous step that we've taken here is instead of doing a single file having all the codes together, we're trying to segment it in a way that the code becomes readable and easy to manage. So for example, if we have a problem with the theme, we know where to get it and correct it. So this theme provider comes from the context, theme, context. We move to the context, theme, context. All these files, you create them and do the coding yourself. I've tried to prepare it in advance. Yeah, so this is where we are loading the theme. As you can see, we have we use the local storage, and this local storage comes from the hooks. Here it is. So that is how the chaining is. I'll do a diagram here which will easily explain this. Let me create a file here which you can use to explain the projects. What do we call it? We call system.txt. Maybe call it system.txt. So this is how it's done. So initially we used to do HTML pages which would act as standalones, including both HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. However, in this side, we are trying to do a web page that has a single landing or entry point. The single entry point is the index.html. That index.html will call the services of, let me just use this, it will import the services of, if you open here, you can see, let me go back here, you can see it goes to the src main.jsx. So it will open, let me go back to the system, it goes to the src folder, then asks for the services of the main.jsx, like that. This main.jsx will actually require the services of another file. Is it good we do an arrow? Yes, an arrow will be enough. An arrow would be enough because we still have a lot of them coming up. So this will call this. So this main.jsx will be appended here. Next is in this file we have some services from other files. So that is main. If you check here, we are calling, these are coming from React, but this is what you develop. So we are calling the app.jsx and the CSS, the styling. So we are calling the app.jsx. Let me go back to the style. Here, this requires two services. One being the app.jsx. Number two, let me do and the index.css. Those two are included in the main.jsx file. If you see here, sorry, in the main.jsx file, here they are. And what this file does, it creates it creates a document root and render this application. So where we have the app, this app will be appended here. It's like including or extending. Yeah. So this app, if we were to do this, it will have extended this, but since we are working inside the main.jsx file, we are including the services of the app.jx. Now, what happens in this app.jsx file? If you open app.jsx file, we can see we have the services of other files here. So all these files will be included. It's like now we've had a branch. Let's go back to here. From here, our entry point, we have included this file, and this file includes the services of these two files. Now, in this app.jsx file, let me have it in another level here. The app.jsx file, it includes the services of all these other files now. The other files included here. Let me copy them to here. Okay. So you will require this file, and we use an and that file, and that file we also include this file. We also include this file, then finally have this file. Yeah, so all these files will be required here. This file, this file, this file, and this file. Yeah, so now you may notice that when you open this file, it has a connection to another file. So this file might be linked to another file. The chain moves that way. But at the end, we are only calling a single file. This single file will now include the other pages. So if you open here, you can see we have the navigation. The navigation is where we will be able to switch from one page to another. The navigation is here. And this is where we have the code for the home. This is where you switch to home, tasks, and posts. Something like that. And actually this is what has been exported. If we check the other application, we do a constant here. We do a const. Then we call the function const. Okay, let's say home. Then we say this is a function. Yeah, then at the end we export. We can do export default, then we pass the home. That is another way. So instead of exporting it from this end, we create a variable. That variable is what we export at the end. But the easiest way is exporting the whole function without creating a variable. As you all know that the more variable you create in your system, the more memory it consumes. Yeah, so and that is let me see, where am I? Yeah, on the right page. Yeah, so that is for the navigation. So if you check the readme, this is what you should do. You should have, and I have tried to do the structure here. API, this is where you'll be doing the fetching, interaction with or querying existing APIs, and the query or the question has been asked here, or the statement about that has been asked. I'm looking for it. Is it exactly querying the API? I can see the API. Yeah, API integration. Here it is. That addresses this task 4, which you are to create an API endpoint, or you are to query from an existing API endpoint. This is where the tasks will be loaded, and it returns this data. And this data is what is displayed. If you check the task manager, this is where it's displayed. All the tasks are displayed here in this task manager. I know you are to do it step by step, creating one page to from the scratch, or a single page from the scratch. But now, sorry, what have I said? I know we were to have done the project step by step, doing a file at a time. But now, when doing that application in that step, in step by step, we should be able to debug or run the application. But as you can see, my application has my computer has some issues when it comes to running the application. So I've tried to run it just with a single file. It brought some issues, but due to the interest of time, I had to just proceed working on it. The only problem is I can't test. You can see we have a very big problem with Tailwind CSS. I don't know if from your end it will be able to run. I share the repo. What do you say? Hello? Hello? Any suggestion? Okay, let me share the repo. So, okay. What I'll do, I'll have to push it. Git add dot. What does it say? Oh, what does it say? Okay. Now no. So let's n cd so man3 d n code dot, let me see what is here. Okay, I think I'll have to do a replication. Copy. So plus git add dot git commit git push. So I'll have to make it public because it was private. Settings,
change visibility to public. Yes, understand. Make it public. Yes, password. Done. So back to code. Clone. Okay, share on the chats. Get it on the chat. Try cloning, but I encourage people to create a fork. See if you're able to access. Let me wait for your responses. Are you able to access? Just confirm if you're able to access. I think I'll have to restore my machine so that I'll be able to run such applications, because it's good. At least once I develop, I test. Now, concerning the project, the man workflow, or the way a man has been taken through, is anybody having a problem? Sorry, if you have a question concerning how the coursework has been done. I'm not doing a man, I'm doing AI, but the little information I've had from it, this is what I can conclude according to the way I've seen the content being covered. Yeah, just confirm if it is the same from what I know. I'm waiting for suggestions or comments from your side. Let people speak. How many are we here? We're a good number. Yes. Can see Simon is saying it's similar. I hope you're able to connect, by the way, because up to now you should be able to do a complete application end to end, both front end, back end, and the database. Yes. You shouldn't have a problem. What has been covered today and what will be covered next week is just an add-on, something that can make the application look clean and achieve more in terms of processing. Yeah. But as far as it is concerned now, or as far as what has been covered now, you should be able to do an application end to end, because everything has been done. The front end done, back end done, MongoDB connection and interaction done. That is everything. Everything covered in 2 weeks, and not 2 weeks but 3 weeks. because the first one was just introduction. So the real work was between week 2, 3, and 4. I'm waiting for your for your suggestion, discussions, reactions. Try running the application from your end, see if it runs. Yeah, because we still have the, there's something to do with man week 4. I was trying to run from my end, so I need time to at least reset my machine so that I'll be able to test these applications. Somebody is asking for week 4. Is that Simon or who from the chats? Oh, week 3 and 4. Okay. But basically, that is week 3, and week 4 is combining the front end and the back end that you did in week 2. But now, if you check well, the instructor has been doing a tremendous work in making sure that we do have or we do follow a good approach when dealing with the applications. He makes sure that you get to understand where what to put where. For instance, instead of just doing a random database connection from outside or doing a random structure of your project, he actually does segmentation which in the manner that uh, the config files are kept in a config folder. The hooks are done in hooks folder. Anything to do with pages, we have them separated in the pages folder. We have components which can be reused, but they don't mix the two, components and pages. Pages are like the about, home, etc. But components are what you reuse. You can reuse. What do we say? Something like a navigation bar. A navigation bar is reusable across the website. So if you have a home page that has a navigation bar, it is good you just load it in the components. The same as for the footer. The footer remains the same regardless of the page. So what changes is the page body, but the footer, the header, and the navigation remains the same. So everything that remains constant, bundle it in the components. Pages that are different, do them in pages, like that. Okay, I can see Daniel. Yeah, Daniel says he's facing a challenge. Yeah, sure. I'm recording the session. I have a screen recorder. I'm recording the session. So um, once we're done, I'll push it. I'm waiting for members to speak. We are many of us here. How many are we? It's almost 10. Getting 10 members at this time. Yes, go ahead, Daniel.
Right. Okay, so good evening to everyone. And also thank you very much, Alan, for the good job that you are doing. I think it was in the morning that I placed it on the platform, but you made time for the meeting. And also, as I said, thank you very much for it. And also, like the reason why I actually joined is that the week three alone, the way I'm suffering, it's not all that easy. I've been on it almost a week. I'm not actually getting it. That React part. And as for the backend, then Node, Express, and stuff, I'm good at it. But with the React, I've been struggling with it. And even when I look through the assignment MD, I've been looking through it. I don't know actually how to go about it. So I like thank you very much for the time that you spent to teach us. So, since my network was not actually good, I'll actually go for the recording. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Thank you very much.
I thank you too. And how is Nigeria, by the way? I guess he's not from Kenya. He's from Nigeria.
No, no, please, I'm from Ghana.
You're from Ghana. Okay, welcome.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
yes. For some of us who are in Kenya, any comment?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
I want to first thank you. Hello.
Hello. Just go ahead. We are getting you.
Yeah, I want to thank you for the great job that you are doing. We are very grateful. Some of us even don't understand these things. You are just explaining. You are telling. I have sent that. I don't know whether the third week is about. Is it about the CSS or about the front end?
The third week is doing the front end, and the front end is mostly the web pages you
Mm-hmm.
see or interact with
Mm.
as a user.
Okay, we are grateful. You are making us understand. I guess for many of us who are doing man, we are stuck at week 3. We haven't done the week 3 assignment, the week 4, and you can see now we have the week 5.
Yes.
We are also determined to learn this software development thing, but tuko slow. We are slow though.
Don't worry.
Tutajua.
That's what the streets are. Okay, you learn
Okay,
stepwise.
thank you. Mm?
You learn stepwise.
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
there's nothing.
But we are really relying on you, Alan.
Thank you.
Mm? Yeah.
So, any other person? Because I need to reset my machine so that I make sure what I've shared really works. In case
Oh,
there's
before another person talks,
yes.
kindly, do you have the week 4 repo?
I've just done the assignment. It's not yet pushed
Oh,
because I need
okay.
to have it tested. Now that my machine has issues, I have to make sure I reset my machine first.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can promise you tomorrow you'll have the week 4 repo because I've already
Okay.
done a lot on it.
So,
So
The victory is in your repo.
yes.
Then okay, I'll focus from there.
What I've just shared is week 3. So week 4, let me see if I have week 4 here.
It's in your GitHub account.
My GitHub account, yes. Yes, I'm waiting for others to speak.
I'm so busy.